The band have been around for a while and created a little bit of controversy wherever they go by fighting among themselves, with the press and with other bands. The first single we're going to see from them on tonight's show is called You Love Us, and it's taken off their double debut album Generation Terrorist. Before we see the single though, we should talk to the band. We asked them about their influences, and their musical influences are obvious, and what makes them so different and new for the 90s.
I think we're a complete mess of all our influences, and what is new about this is that we completely understand that, and we use it in a really good way. I think we are very, very modern and very 20th century in the way we write lyrics and write songs, the way we exist as people, you know. We haven't got to walk around all day being some like outdated hippie concept of a commune. We're very contemporary, and I think more and more people are starting to realise that. Even the way we use like slogans, the way we use imagery, it's very 90s.
The song was shot on the streets of Tokyo in Japan, with the band directing themselves with an all-Japanese crew through an interpreter. Not an easy task, and they decided they'd film the video there so late that they didn't get permission to film on the streets of Tokyo. So the video, in fact, does have a rather manic quality, as they're trying to keep one step ahead of the police all the way. They've sold a huge amount of albums in Japan. In fact, 50,000 copies of Generation Terrorist have been sold there alone. And we spoke to the band about how they feel that their foreign fans, how much they actually get out of their music, the Manic Street Preachers being such a British band.
Some problems, I mean, are unbridgeable. Like in the last German tour we did, we never do encores. We know we've never done one in Britain, but I think a lot of German audiences were quite offended by the fact that we just went on, 40 minutes of total energy, but, nothing afterwards, and it's a very sort of weird atmosphere. It's it's not being disrespectful to any sort of audience. It's just the fact that we don't do encores, wherever we are. So things like that are difficult, but I think they understand the main essence of the band, our attitude and our idealism.
The single off their second album, Gold Against the Soul, which was produced by 21-year-old David Ehringer, who has worked on the band's early Heavenly singles. We asked the band exactly what From Despair to Where is all about.
The sadness in everyday life. Most people in Europe have got a decent standard of living compared to maybe, their grandparents' generation, and there's still a lot of deep-rooted like melancholy in their lives. And there's something really indulgent in that despair, which nobody can really understand. Whatever goes on in the day, most people spend their 24 hours moaning and complaining and feeling quite sad at themselves. And there's not really a reason why it should be, but it never goes away. That's what the song was about. Very simple idea, really. Well, we found the title in the Van Gogh book. It's one of the last things Van Gogh wrote to his brother Theo before he killed himself. The song took on different sort of connotations. It was much more about the futility of old age and the idea of a war veteran being very patronised by young people, maybe thought about once a year and then just left to like rot and vegetate. But the obscene nature of the end of a man's life, that's what the song meant.